it comes to the issue of fighting, the words used mainly in the Quran are harb or qital. These mean fighting, where violence is implied. When, how, to whom is violence allowed in Islam? Before we carry on, I think it's important to clear some very important ground. Number one, that peace is the norm in Islam. That progress and peaceful coexistence between husband and wife, between family and neighbors, within the community, irrespective of faith, is expected to be the norm and the aim of laws. It is only when there is absolutely no alternative and you have to be violent that it becomes permissible. But even then, it is still regulated. So it's not enough for somebody to attack you and that justifies any kind of violence towards them. So when we look at this issue of violence and fighting, firstly, some people say jihad is holy war. In Islam, war is never holy. Fighting is never holy. It is human life that is holy. It is life that is sacred. It is life that should be protected. Even when fighting is allowed, it's only when life is threatened, and that is the only way to bring peace or normalcy. So let's look at the conditions that permit a Muslim to fight. Firstly, the Quran says you are allowed to fight those who fight against you. This does not remove from the fact that the Quran teaches us also to forgive those who do wrong to us. So there's an option of forgiveness. There's an option, as the Quran puts it, idfa billati hiya ahsan, that you do goodness to those who do bad to you, that you pay back wrong done to you by doing good. So that's there. But where you cannot, or it will be unreasonable to allow people to be killed, then the Quran allows us to fight in self-defense, in protection of the weak, against oppression, when there is no alternative towards peace and removing oppression, or where people have already shown all the signs of an imminent attack, then a preemptive strike is permissible, but only when there is absolutely no doubt that if you don't preempt, these people are going to cause damage. So it is permissible if police or an army know that there are some armed robbers or criminals who are already planning an attack, they've already gathered weapons, that you do not wait for them to attack innocent people before you arrest them or engage them. The other thing is, even when there is to be fighting aggression, it has to be with the permission of a leader. You can't just start your fight, another group is attacking, another group is surrendering, another group is going for peace talks. You have to operate as one, otherwise it is detrimental to the whole. So it is only the leader of the community or country or nation that has the right to call for war, call for ceasefire, call for peace talks. The other condition is that even when warfare is permissible with a clear enemy, the Quran and the Sunnah give very clear guidelines that non-combatants should not be affected. You should not kill women, children, elderly, clergy, anybody who is not involved in fighting you. You have no right to fight them. You don't find peace-loving people who belong to a religious community and say, because the members of this religious community are fighting us, it allows us to fight members of that religious community who have not fought you. The Quran makes it clear you only fight those who fight against you. When it comes to the issue of fighting, therefore, even when an enemy is clear, but the enemy comes and asks you for peace, as we find in Surah Tawbah, in chapter 9, verse 6, even in the middle of conflict, when an enemy comes and seeks peace, seeks asylum, they should be given asylum and taken to a place where they can be safe.